while the flesh lips represent the female sex. That's and that's it for the monsters, I think. Well, the regular ones at least, because now then we can move on to the badass himself, Pyramid Head. Pyramid Head. Now there's an interesting monster. He's very interesting, I think. He's like James's tormentor throughout the game, but at the same time, I see him as a sort of, albeit brutal, but he gives James a brutal awakening at the end. And I guess you could tie in Pyramid Head with this whole thing with Maria, because Pyramid Head kills Maria two times, I think, throughout the entire game. 2 times. And each time it's like Maria is trying to lead James away from the truth, and then Pyramid Head comes and says, "No! You will not lead him astray anymore," or something like that, and he just and kills her. The first time is in the Brookhaven Hospital, and that scene is also great. My god, oh, great scene. And the last time is in the Lakeview Hotel, and by that time there's 2 Pyramid Heads. Now, since James has killed Eddie at that point, it could be plausible to believe that there are 2 Pyramid Heads, because one represents him killing Mary and the other represents him killing Eddie. But I don't know really. But the fact is that he kills Maria again, basically, before James's eyes. First James is like, "No, not again." But then he says then he realizes that what he has done, and he decides that, you know what, I don't need you anymore, Pyramid Head. I'm done punishing myself, because I think that what Pyramid Head's role in the game is. He is the tormentor. He is James's own way of punishing himself for the things he did towards Mary, you know. So, and then again, this whole sexual sub theme, or the sexual tones in the monster design, you can connect that also with Pyramid Head, because the second time you meet Pyramid Head, you see Pyramid Head. He is in a apartment, and he is like, you see this happen 2 times, by the way. The first one is when he's in the apartment, and you see him like raping these mannequins, you know. So at the same time, you could see Pyramid Head as for like the more brutal side of James in Pyramid Head. But at the same time, I see Pyramid Head also as the tormentor of James. But it's James's own way of punishing himself. He creates Pyramid Head. He spawns from his mind, from James's mind, that is. Pyramid Head spawns from James's mind. No, so I think that's the whole symbolism behind Pyramid Head, because later when you're at the Silent Hill Historical Museum, you see this painting, and in the painting you see Pyramid Head. He like standing there with his apron and like slaughtered white gloves and this spear and this red pyramid thing he has on his head. And I read somewhere that the apron could symbolize some old what was it now again? I have forgotten, but anyway. So I think that's the role of Pyramid Head in the story. He is James's tormentor and James's own way of punishing himself, and so on. And then the fact that you see him rape. Ah yes, and the second rape scene with Pyramid Head is also in the apartment, in the Woodside Apartments. But then he is, well, it looks like he has been raping a lying figure. You know, these monsters that sprout this black goo at you, acid, that monster. So you see him molesting 2 different types of monsters. So then there's the sexual thing, the sexual theme that's running in the monster design. I mean, that's because the nurses, for instance, they represent James's, like, I guess you could say almost like his lust for women, you know, because they have these tight skirts and tight short skirts and tight clothes, you know, tight little jackets, and they have this mega cleavage. Really, I mean, you can see the breasts pretty well. But anyway, so I guess that's, you could say that's why they look like that, design wise. And then of course you have the mannequins. And another thing about the bobblehead, the reason why they probably don't have any faces is probably because it's like they're symbolizing 2 things: James's sexual lust, but also his, like, perhaps his resentment or repulsive, that he finds nurses repulsive. I don't know, because they worked, they took care of Mary, and when they failed to save her, then maybe that's why, or something like that. I'm just speculating here, guys. I'm just speculating on, but then we have the flesh lips, which could be, what was it again? It symbolizes the perhaps the sexual frustration that James felt, because as Mary was sick, they couldn't, you know, sleep together, and maybe that made him hate, like, well, maybe not hate women, but, well, it was mostly pointed against Mary, I believe. Or maybe he started to hate women a little in general and thought they were like uptight bitches. I don't know. But I know that, but that could be that. I think that is the symbolism of just the flesh lips monster. Then we have the lying figure, as they could represent, like, patients, because they are also called patients, but I call them lying figures because of they have like a like flesh straitjacket, you know, which could echo back to some of the patients maybe at the hospital, something that James had seen, mental patients maybe, I don't know, and somehow that projected itself. And somehow Silent Hill drew that image from James's mind and then twisted it a little bit and, yeah, made a monster, so to speak. And the mannequins could be, I think they also could represent, that could maybe represent James's view on women to some extent, that he sees them just like sex objects somehow, but that could also tie in with the bobblehead nurses. So again, you see, you can just sit here and look, if I speculate on this too long, I might have to make a part 3, and I don't want to do that. Let's keep it to 2 parts. So yeah, but just that quick note again on Pyramid Head. Yeah, I think, like I said, he is the tormentor, and I'm sorry I don't have any more. I don't have so much series on why he looks the way he does, but at least I find him very intimidating and very threatening and scary. And hey, it's a horror game, so that's the point, right? And Pyramid Head is probably the best stalker character I've ever seen in a video game. Absolutely, hands down. So, let's talk about the endings. Let's talk a quick bit about the ending. There are 4 official endings. I know there is a UFO and dog ending. I've never managed to get those 2. But let's just let's just go over the endings really quick here. We have the leave ending, in which James basically adopts Laura, because that was what Mary wanted. If she hadn't had the disease, if she hadn't died, she wanted to adopt Laura. She even states that in the letter that you get. So that's the leave ending, basically. That's the happy ending, you know. And then we have the in water ending, which was the one I referenced to earlier, where James kills himself because he can't live without Mary, and he feels his guilt is so it gets too much for him, I think, that he just, nah, fuck it, I don't care to live anymore without my wife, you know. And I find that ending beautiful in some way, because that shows that he really regrets what he did, and or at least that he really loved his wife. And although he could seem distant and grumpy, or maybe didn't talk too much, that he really cared. And I find it is the most tragic ending, really, but, well, depends how you see it, because there is like this, yeah, I'm backtracking here, but bear with me. There is this like this bar in the town, and when you go into the bar, you see like it's blood painted, blood script on the wall, letters in blood, and it says, but maybe you would go to a different place than Mary, James. And like I said, all these things is just James's mind projecting all these things, basically. So in water, could be tragic, could be maybe it is tragic, but if they are united, then I think it is the happy ending, really. But that depends if they are reunited in the afterlife or not. And then Maria ending, that is quite that I feel is quite tragic indeed. The thing is that James chooses Maria over Mary, basically. He lets Mary go, but at the same time, since he wants to be with Maria, and Maria and Mary are the same person, basically, almost, he doesn't really let go. And so you see them walk up to his car, and then you hear Maria like like this cough, and it's the same cough that Mary had when she was ill. So that begs the question: is Maria sick now too? Is Maria to become as sick as Mary was? Because James didn't learn his lesson. He didn't realize. Yeah, because he fucked up. That could be the case. I believe that could be the case, and I find the Maria ending perhaps the most tragic, because that means that James has to go through that shit all over again, and like a week after his wife died, after he killed his wife. 1 week. That's like, oh yeah. So the last ending then, rebirth. The rebirth ending, it's basically that you must fetch certain items, find certain items in the world to get this ending. That's one criteria, I believe. I won't go into much detail about the criteria how to get the other endings, because then this video will be too long as it already is. and I don't want that. So yeah, Rebirth. It basically states what the name says. Rebirth. James tries to should we say, rebirth Mary, like resurrect Mary or something like that, with some sort of dark occult ritual or something like that. Whew. Holy crap. Yeah, so that's the endings and what they're about, and yeah, it's again, the endings are, I'm sure the endings are full of symbolism also, and different small connections here and there throughout the story, but I don't won't go into more details about those now. There's still a chunk left I want to talk about. So let's say music and atmosphere. The music and the atmosphere, I believe, goes hand in hand in this game. Perfect marriage. Like I mentioned earlier, it's these like these scenes with Angela. They're so touching and emotional, mostly because of the incredible music that Akira Yamaoka has composed, and it's especially these piano interludes, I guess you would say. It is these piano interludes that make Angela's the scene when she walks up the stairs to her own death, and then the scene again where when you find her with the knife in front of the mirror. So yeah, those and then like there's this, and then there's this these industrial sounding tracks, audio tracks also throughout the game that plays here and there, but mostly it's just you'll find yourself just like going down along. Like, I can take an example: the Woodside Apartments and the Brookhaven Hospital. Now, both these locations have one thing in common. They're dark, and two things. They're dark, and they're full of tight, enclosed corridors and different rooms. And in those two locations, there's absolute silence. You can only hear your own footsteps, basically. But then when a monster appears, the music, then suddenly the music is rising, and it's just like this industrial mindfuck mayhem, basically. And you get like so fucking tense and so fucking scared that you just, oh god, oh god, oh god, I don't want to go in there, I don't want to go in there, I don't want to go there because there's monsters. Basically, yeah, it's pretty fucked up. And the main theme of the game, oh my god, that's, let me tell you this, Silent Hill 2 has probably the best, or one of the best soundtracks to a game I have ever heard. It is atmospheric, and it's gripping, it's beautiful, melancholic, and so many things at once. I just ran out of words to describe it by. But the music fits the game perfectly, and it fits all the scenes that features it. And another scene where the music really accentuates everything. Two scenes. The first one is in the hospital, when Pyramid Head has killed Mary the first time, and the hospital is like back to, shall we say, normal, I suppose. It's all dark and everything, but it is this, in the background, this is just wonderful, beautiful, beautiful piano melody, and just, oh my god, it just leaves you drained, emotionally drained. That's what it does. And the next scene I wanted to discuss, which the music also has big impact on, that is the scene in the hotel room where James finds out that he finds the tape and the tape basically shows him killing his wife. And then when he sees that, he just sits there like he can't believe what he has seen. He can't believe what he has done. And then Laura comes in and starts to scream and hit James and give Mary back to me. Give her back to me. I knew it. You didn't love her. You hated her. Like that. And then with the music, it's just like, oh my god. For a survival horror game, Silent Hill 2 I'll save this for closing comments because it's so yeah, the music, perfect in every fucking way, every sense of the word. It's mind-boggling. Fits just right. So then we have the atmosphere. And the atmosphere, like I mentioned, is so thick that you can cut it with a knife. Basically, it's especially when you're out in when you're outside, and and you have the fog, the very thick fog, I might add. At least if you have the noise effect option turned on, which I recommend you strongly to have turned on. And the fog does so much for the immersion and the experience of the game. It just makes you feel unease, basically, because you don't see well, and somehow it just feels like, right, you know what, fuck yeah, this is Silent Hill, the fucking fog, you know. Just like the first Silent Hill game had fog also, but the fog is much thicker and feels more alive in Silent Hill 2 than it did in the first game. And then there's a section where you after you have been in the hospital, you go outside. The fog is gone, but there is a complete fucking darkness, a complete blackness all over the city, and it's crawling with mannequins, lying figures, and these bobblehead nurses everywhere. Well, yeah, you cannot run them, but your radio gives off static almost all the time in that section, and you're in pitch black. You don't see anything. So it gets pretty, and again, I believe that works in conjecture with the it works with the story also, and all this subtle, because you encounter a door in the beginning of the game in the town that you can't open, and it says on the wall next to it, only the door of what was it, something like the door of darkness that opens up into nightmares or something like that, I think. And then when you, because you're like here by that point, here's the door that is locked. You are on this side at first, boink, but then you go around, and here is the hospital, and then you can walk through it when the darkness has come to the town. So it's little things like that, again, that makes this game so brilliant. It's just little things, little details everywhere throughout it. And so yeah, this whole thing with the darkness and such, and it was even featured in the first game. So Silent Hill 2 took that concept, but it made it its own, almost made it its own. Let's just check. Oh fuck. Oh well, better finish this video fast. I think my tongue is twisted almost. God. I've written toilets here. Yeah, the toilets. The toilets can be a creepy place in Silent Hill 2. To start off with, the game begins in a restroom by the side of the road, And the game opens with the camera like pans slowly across James, across the toilets and sinks and everything. And then later on, you're in this old prison building, and there's this fucking bathroom there that just freaks the shit out of me. I mean, it's just, man, I just jump every single time I'm in there, because I believe it's a ladies' restroom. I believe you just go in, you go to the stall door, so to speak, stall door at the end of the room, and you like knock it, but there's no answer. And I usually, if you knock on the door several times, like when you turn around, and exactly when you're at the exit and about to exit the bathroom, you hear something from the stall door just put up, slamming towards it, and I just jumped high. You know, the first time I think I had a heart attack the first time or something. My heart almost nearly popped out of my chest. Oh fuck, that is so creepy, so fucking creepy. Oh, but again, it's a horror game, it's supposed to be creepy, and oh, I love stuff like that in this game. I just fucking love it. It's so wonderful. Let's see here. I think we're beginning to. Yeah. Only one more thing here. On the environments. James says it is after you exit the hospital and you have gone through, when the darkness has descended upon the town, you have gone through the door and everything. And note that it says the door that opens into nightmares. So you walk through this door, and it's in that area, that's where you find these monsters I mentioned that climbs along like this with their arms on the steel grating floor that you walk on. And you pass that, and then you have to go through Rosewater Park again, and then you go to Silent Hill Memorial. Silent Hill Historical Museum, I mean. And you enter the museum, and then you just like down. You just keep going down and further down, and it's yeah, I believe it's when you clear the prison, Silent Hill old prison that you find, and then the real mind, then there's many mind fucks, because then it's basically when you check the map, you see that what the fuck, it's blank. But as you walk along these like corridors, and just press up the map again, you see that there are lines that have been like drawn. So James is like mapping out this labyrinth that is in, and it is his own mental labyrinth. It's like Silent Hill's way of testing James. Excuse me. Is he ready to face what he has done and so forth? That is the whole point of that area in the game, the mental labyrinth stuff, all that, and that explains why you encounter Pyramid Head down there. Surprise, surprise, he is there, as he is James's tormentor and such, and there to in James's own way to punish himself. That explains why Pyramid Head is in this labyrinth also, because it is of James's construction. But it's like Silent Hill's way of testing is, well, like he's testing himself. He's testing. I think he's probably testing his mind to see if he are ready to go that to face the consequences of his actions. But I guess you could say he is, yeah. and it's down there that Maria dies this for the second time. For the second time she dies down there, and that scene, that prison scene, my god, that scene is pretty creepy. Also, because you find Maria in this, and she's sitting like in a cell, and at first she sounds like Mary, and mentions all things that only Mary should have known. And James is like totally confused, and you probably will be too if you play it the first time. He basically, and they ask her, "What are you, Mary? Are you Maria? Who are you?" And then he asks her if he's Maria, and then she says, "I'm not your Mary." And then he asks her, "So you're Maria?" And she's like, "I am, if you want me to be." And then she's all this seductive again, this seductress, you know, that Maria is. And so that is almost the same with Angela, like this split personality that switches places every time. Only that it only happens for Maria in that scene, where it switches between Mary and Maria, like that. So yeah, that's the mental labyrinth part. Just gonna check here. No, I think plenty of notes. I think I'm done. Closing comments then. Yeah, so if you haven't figured out already, Silent Hill 2 is one of my... Now I'm just gonna praise this game as fucking much as I can, if you don't mind. Silent Hill 2 is for me an incredible achievement. It's a pinnacle of survival horror games, or at least the psychological ones, which is the kind of horror I prefer. I prefer Silent Hill to... I like Silent Hill, and I am more interested in Silent Hill much more than the Resident Evil series, because Resident Evil to me it's more like it's not psychological horror in that way. It's not these mindfucks that makes you so uncomfortable and like that. It's not atmospheric either, I believe. I don't think it is. That's my honest opinion. Just I don't like. Same with Dead Space. Yeah, sure, Dead Space is great and all that, but yeah, the golden era of survival horror games, I think, sadly, it seems it has passed. Sadly. But yeah, Silent Hill 2 is my favorite survival horror game. It's one of my top 5 games of all time, easily. It is as much a drama, a tragic love story, a drama, as it is a horror game, a horror story. And it is so intelligent and so deep that I don't think I ever encountered a game that deep. Not in the survival horror genre. Usually I have only found those games that goes that deep, like in other genres, like role-playing games, RPGs. But Silent Hill games have always had that kind of depth to them. The first 3, at least, the first 3 games, I think all of them had that depth and stuff. But Silent Hill 2 took the concept from Silent Hill 1 and took it in a completely new direction. It's like it is saying, well, fuck you, old Silent Hill. I'm new, I'm better, I'm the best, and it's I could marry that game, man. I just love it so much. I love it so much. It's amazing, an amazing game. If you haven't played it, well, too bad. But you could always buy it on PlayStation 2 or the Xbox version or the PC, because it is an experience I wholeheartedly recommend to all you fine gents or ladies or whoever watches this video. Yeah, it's just I fucking love the game. I love it. That's all I have to say. That's my closing comments. Feel free feel free to leave comments down below and rate, subscribe, and yeah, all that stuff, you know. So yeah, I'll see you.